Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wander and Grow. I'm here on the porch, and it's maybe like 8 or 9 and hasn't gotten scorching hot yet. So I wanted to talk about um, some prepping and how prepping kind of comes with homesteading, given the state of the world right now. I feel like I work in a city where a lot of people just kind of watch the news for information and only watch it when things happen. So, um, a lot of people at work are asking questions like, it seems really scary right now, and this and that. And it got me thinking, and obviously, a conversation between me and my husband about uh, how prepping goes so well with homesteading. And like sometimes you don't correlate them, and sometimes you do. But I thought I would just talk about that while I do something very trivial as replant this orchid. Someone at work gave me this and said, "Can you save it?" And I was like, maybe. I'm not a miracle worker, but I can try. So I'm just going to be doing that. It needs to be repotted from what I read about it and probably trimmed at the tips. So I'll just be doing that to keep my ADHD hands busy while I talk to you guys about prepping and how it goes with homesteading. So, um, we were talking about it the other night, and I was like, let me write this down. Like, I have a little notebook now that I write stuff in, and I feel like it's pretty important. Like, it's got good recipes that I put out at the farm stand, and it's got things that I should avoid to help Austin's cholesterol, and different video information because I like to do a little research before I just get on here and start yapping about stuff that might be wrong. So I do some research, but I have 7 things that you should do if you're a homesteader that involves prepping. And it would make you feel so much better. Sometimes it's just doesn't matter what's going on in the world, just knowing that you are slightly, even a little bit prepared. You know, what if there's another toilet paper crisis? What if, what if, what if there's a, I don't know, toilet paper crisis is pretty good. That was, no one saw that coming. Toilet paper? Okay, so 7 things you should do if you are a homesteader and just want to be prepared. Okay? The first thing is to control what you grow. Control what you grow seasonally, control what you grow in your zone, and learn what's edible. Like, I'm also reading off my notes. Learn what's edible in your location. So, like, in the back of our house, we have a bunch of woods. We've got willows. We've got a bunch of plants out there that are growing near a creek that actually are poisonous, not to touch, but to eat. I noticed that none of the chickens get them. I noticed them growing in like a colony, so I researched what they were, and obviously we cannot eat that. And then I see the same things growing in the garden, so when I am out there weeding, I make sure that I pick those, do not put them in like the chicken pile. So just know what you have available to you, control what you grow, and use as much as the season as possible. I think that was one of my goals this year was to use as much as the seasons as I could. This thing is packed in here. So number 2, water control. Water control to me means like, okay, yes, maybe you have your sprinklers on a timer and maybe everything is easy and laid out for you. But it can also mean storing water. It can mean having a pool. Like we have a very large pool, which is a very large vat of water that they were like all in this thing right here. Anyways, a very large um, water storage that we could use in an emergency if, let's say, we didn't have any access to water. We could use that, pail it out, water the plants, water us, boil it if we needed to. But then you could also do this with wells, hand pump wells that are not connected to electricity. You could do this with rain barrels off your gutters. At our old house, we had rain barrels off of our gutters that worked really well. And in the summertime, when the well would run and run and run and run and get really hot, we would just kind of pail some water out of the rain barrels to water the plants that were close. Number 3, energy. So wood stoves. A lot of homesteaders and preppers I notice have wood stoves, but also we have a solar generator. So a lot of people have generators, you know, if you live in like a hurricane zone and stuff like that. We have one that's solar because we don't live in a hurricane zone per se, but um, we have one that's solar that we can sit out if our power goes out. You know, Duke Power has been talking about these scheduled power outages and stuff like that, like in my mom's old area. So if that happens for us, we're able to hook our well up to it. We're able to hook a water filtration system up to it that we have. We've tested it a couple times and it does work. It just draws a lot of energy. So it's got to be a really sunny day, or it's got to be charged up. So it's a solar generator that can charge solarly, or we can plug it in, I'm pretty sure. The fourth thing is preserving. Preserve what you can. In my garden, I make a lot of my sauces with my tomatoes. I do a lot of canning. I did carrots this year. I'm going to do marinara sauce that lasted me all last year. I'm going to do that again this year. Ketchup and barbecue sauce. Pickles. I did pickled beets this year. Last year I did butternut squashes that we're still eating off of. Lots and lots of preserving things. You can preserve in different ways. You can pressure can, you can water bath can, you can blanch and freeze, you can dry and store. I've dried and cured and stored a lot of our potatoes that we've grown this year, and they're still pretty good. It's been a couple months, still eating off those. And succession planting kind of goes along with that preserving, so you can kind of have a continuous crop all year long. Just a side note, these are really healthy roots. So like this one right here, not so healthy on our orchid. This one, very healthy. Another thing, number 5, is medical herbal self-understanding. So I'm not saying you got to be like a herbologist, whatever that's called. I'm not saying you have to like only use these things. Don't go to the doctor. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is understand what you have available. Like I put oregano in my chicken's water to kind of keep them a little healthier. I use tea tree oil on like a little bit of sores and stuff that I have open because it's antiseptic. I eat a lot of garlic because it can help prevent illnesses, you know, stuff like that. Just know what you have available to you in a pinch. Also, I have this really cool book I got from Aldi. It was $3, and it tells you how to make like antibiotic ointment and stuff like that, just based on herbs, and you can make it into a salve from an oil. It's really cool. So just know your things. Sometimes it's just interesting to learn, and then eventually you'll have those things in your well house, like of knowledge that you now know in case anything happens. What can be used as an antiseptic, an anti-emetic, like peppermint helps your tummy. Let's see. Pain things. There's like a weed that grows that has white stuff in the middle. Comment below if you know what I'm talking about, but it has the same effects as morphine, I've heard. I've never seen it, but I've read a lot about it. So just understand that stuff in your location. All right. And number 6 is bartering or side hustle. I feel like homesteaders automatically have this. You automatically have like chicken knowledge, and you automatically have garden knowledge or soil knowledge or extra plants you've got lying around that you can give your friends that you could barter with in a pinch, or tincture knowledge or stuff like that. But like, or bee knowledge. Like homesteaders just happen to have that. And I feel like that's something that you can just keep in the back of your mind as something you're prepared by. And if something ever happened, like they wouldn't kill you because you got that good knowledge. Also, like local buys. So I've actually done this before. I traded some sourdough starter for a dozen eggs. And I've made like dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of sourdough loaves from that just little bit of starter that I traded for a $3 dozen of eggs. Stuff like that. Seeds, compost knowledge. If you're really good at making candles, that would be useful in a pinch. Just any type of knowledge that homesteaders were kind of eager to learn about, and that's going to be useful in a prepping situation. The last thing a lot of preppers talk about is security. I'm not saying you have to go buy a bunch of ammo and be completely prepared all the time for everything. But you can do it in different ways. Like, yes, there's weapons, um, but you could do it with bees. Like, you could put your bees at the front of your property. You know, people are less likely to come to the front of your property if anything ever happened if you had your bees out there, or if you had like really thorny bushes, blackberry bushes, just lining your fence. If you had dogs, like we recently got flock dogs as a deterrent for the backwoods. We have animals that come up through the backwoods and occasionally get our chickens. So I did get two flock dogs. Their names are Tina and Louise, and they're actually down the porch right now. But I got them, and they've worked really well. So there's actually been one instance where one of our chickens got when the dogs were here with us, and sorry, I had to drink this coffee. It's just over here looking too good. Anyways, one of the instances where the one of the chickens was attacked by something that came up through the woods in the night, and the dogs did not leave the backfield for at least 3 days. And we kept wondering, like, why are they back there so hard? Why are they back there so hard? Because usually, they want to come to me, the people that feed them, and they'll want to come out during the day. They'll go in at night. They'll stay out and sleep outside the chicken coop. They don't have a prey drive. They're like an Anatoly Shepherd and the Great Pyrenees mix. So they do really, really well with protection and alert us if anything's weird. They were barking at the cats the other day that were out and not supposed to be. So, yeah, guard dogs is a great way to have security. So there's lots of things that homesteaders already do that would help in your prepping journey, even if you're not a prepper, or just to make you feel at ease in the time that we're living in right now. I'm not very political. My husband's very political, but it's a scary time. I watch the news at work at the hospital, and I'm like, oh my god, maybe I should text him and ask him what's going on, because it is scary the way the news portrays it sometimes. So yeah. 7 things. There you go. Security in reverse. 7 things in reverse. Security, bartering, having random knowledge, that you could trade for something else. Medicinal herbal understanding, preserving, energy, preserving like your food and stuff like that. Having a source of energy that you can rely on in case anything happens. Water control, and controlling what you grow. 7 things. All right. That was just a quick thing. We could always talk more about this later, but in the state of the world right now, if you're a homesteader, don't be scared. Just feel prepared because you already have lots of these things that I know everyone does that's a homesteader. All right, like and subscribe. See you later. I'm going to fix my orchid.